On the corner, me a bring come chat, voice your concerns. As I share everything, just know it's a general knowledge. Just know it's a general knowledge. Views expressed, you know the rest. Come chat with DP. Call me Damian Phillips. Whoa, ooh yeah, Phillips. Call me Damian Phillips. Yeah. Yeah, DP stands for Damian Phillips. All who never moved with it. So if you see your girl's phone and it's my name DP, don't feel no way. Adjust the habit. DP stands for Damian Phillips. All who never knew get with it. So if you see a girl's phone and it's my name DP, don't feel no way. What's the habit? Politics, politics, it doesn't matter. Me I go talk, bringing light to the last, so you will get it. DP is my name, please don't spoil it. Come listen, my show. Come chat. Voice your concerns. Just know it's a general knowledge. It's your concerns as I share everything. Just know it's a general knowledge. Yeah, views expressed, you know the rest. Come chat with DP. Call me Damian Phillips. Yeah. Come listen my show on the economy of chat. No, it's a general knowledge. It's my name, please don't spoil it. Big up Portland, St. Thomas, Jamaica and America. Come listen my show on the economy I bring, come chat.
Let me say good evening and thanks for joining me. My name is Damon Phillips. Let's jump into it. I don't know why technology keep on flapping me. And I shall not be making any promises. I was going to say I'm not going no overtime, but let's see where the show takes us. I'm live on Vibes Corner Radio. Let me say good evening to those of you logging in on Vibes Corner Radio out of Connecticut. Those of you on my YouTube channel, you always hear every Monday evening, and to my newfound family, TikTok. Boy, I may tell you, them have me on TikTok till 8 o'clock this morning. I slept until 12:50 something and woke up to a breaking news and went right back on TikTok. Mr. Ingram, if you're here, send me a request, sir, because you promised to come back with us at 9. I'm a little bit late, but let's get the show running. And for full context, I'm going to play Nation News Network to get us up to date. So let's go with it.
26. If it's news, it's got to be Nationwide 90 FM.
And now to the details. Nationwide News understands that former MP for West St. Mary, the PNP's Julian Silvera, changed his initial not guilty plea after investigators discovered forensic evidence conclusively linking the bullet that allegedly killed his wife to a gun registered to him. The police theorized that Melissa Silvera was murdered in the couple's Stony Hill home and did not die in her sleep as initially reported. George Davis has the latest on the case that has gripped national attention.
Nationwide News understands keeps a bullet that is fired from the gun of each licensed firearm holder. The bullet contains unique marks which corresponded to the firearm issued to each firearm holder. Those unique indentations on the bullet are referred to as bullet striation marks or simply a ballistic fingerprint. Nationwide News understands that Julian Silvera was arrested after his wife's funeral. This after he had initially led family and friends to believe their loved one had died in his sleep. He was taken into custody after an autopsy was performed on Melissa Silvera and the bullet retrieved from her body. All sources say the suspicions of investigators were initially aroused based on the awkward positioning of Melissa's body at the crime scene. It's understood the position of her body brought into question the explanation that she died peacefully in her sleep. It's also understood she was not shot in the vagina, as was initially widely circulated online. But nationwide sources say the bullet retrieved from Melissa's body had the same unique striation marks which 100% matched the bullet kept by the FLA, which corresponded with the licensed firearm it had issued to Julian Silvera. This piece of compelling evidence led investigators to conclude that Melissa Silvera was killed by a bullet fired from the licensed firearm issued to the man she had vowed to stand by, for richer or poorer, in sickness and in health, until death part. That is how, despite investigators finding that his gun barrel appeared to have been tampered with, former Member of Parliament and influential PNP politician failed to escape being charged in connection with his wife's death. George Davis for Nationwide News.
Meanwhile, our news center can confirm that the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions has not yet indicated whether it will accept the guilty plea offered by former Member of Parliament Julian Silvera in relation to the death of his wife, Melissa. That decision is expected when the matter is called up in court on Tuesday. If the lesser charge of manslaughter is accepted by the prosecution and the presiding judge, Chief Justice Brian Sykes, the former legislator would face a maximum of 20 years in prison. The former PNP lawmaker for Western St. Mary on Monday indicated his willingness to plead guilty to the lesser charge of manslaughter in the high-profile case. Silvera's intention was apparently raised when he appeared in the gun court in Kingston on Monday. At the previous court sitting in January, Silvera's attorneys had applied for an independent examination of critical ballistic evidence, resulting in a delay to the proceedings. Silvera is charged with murder, manslaughter, and using a firearm to commit a felony. Melissa Silvera was found dead at the couple's home in Stony Hill, St. Andrew on November 10, 2023. Julian was arrested and charged in January 2024 and has remained in custody since. If the guilty plea is rejected, he faces 50 years to life in prison if convicted of his wife's murder. Silvera is being represented by King's Counsel Peter Champagny and Attorney-at-Law Patrice Riley.
Still in court, the long-anticipated trial involving reputed Klansman gang leader Tesha Miller and 24 co-accused has been delayed again. The matter was expected to start today, Monday.
To each firearm holder. Those
So again, let me say good evening and welcome to those of you joining me from wherever you are or wherever you're listening. If you're listening to me on something that I did not mention, so you're not listening like on a YouTube channel, on Facebook channel, or you're not listening to me uh, that's all right. Um, we can do it. So if you're hearing me on TikTok, go ahead and just say, let me know that you're join. If you like to be my guest on TikTok, feel free to send me a request. I can add you. Looking for Mr. Ingram. On my show earlier, on live earlier, and you say you will return. So please come on in, send me a request. Let's have a conversation. I don't want to misrepresent you. I don't want to say you like to be so you can yourself. So for those of you my faithful viewers on YouTube, keeping it still we're in the second month of 2026 and I still don't have my 2,000 subscribers. Guys, I'm at 1,000 energy and so on. Tell me so that I have one person who can send and say, let me a favor, you can subscribe to the brother. So I see this one is comment and I've highlighted it. Greetings, DP and the family members. Damien Crawford is a prophet. The man's words are coming to pass one by one and going to jail. One by one and going to jail. No, the accused has been incarcerated for 2 years since 2024, and he was joining, thanks for joining, just the news from Nationwide News Network. So again, my TikTok family, feel free to want to be in the box, not my box, in the box. You can send me a request and I'll add you to the box. Searching for Mr. Ingram, Noel Ingram. Anybody knows Noel Ingram, please tag him, call him to the front of the line. Um, and Sir Ingram, waiting on you, sir. All right. So today, let me start with a correction because I was of the opinion that, and I don't know who else and may change their mind, but I was of the opinion that it was only one charge and the charge was murder. That was the opinion that I had formed. Oh, I don't know. Because I guess all we know that is that this man is charged for the unaliving of after 6 terms of his wife. Um, some vivid memories come back. I remember seeing pictures of him at the funeral service at the front in tears. And something never sit right with me. But again, I'm not a judge. Also, I have to maintain professionalism in journalism, although I'm not on a radio station or TV station out of Jamaica, but I'm still on radio. Big up Vibes Corner Radio out of Connecticut. So there are some things that still remain. We cannot discuss the facts of the case. We can talk about or have a conversation about what has been reported, but we cannot go in depth, and I don't want anybody speculating on all of that. All right. So this is not just my regular live. I am live on radio. As the city would say. When I make me go downtown to sell advertising. So neither would I want them to utilize my show clip as if it's something that was said to say that this had jeopardized their case. So with that being said, I was of the opinion, like I said, that it was just a murder charge. That was it. Up until listening to the news and find out that no, initially the accused have been charged for three charges. He was slapped, terms I like to use. Thank you, Matthew. I see Matthew liking up the likes and just knocking out. Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate that. I wish others will follow suit so we can push the algorithms. Yeah. One by one, each side is going to jail. Also, I hope we can be um, politically mature to not try to gain political points from this. Because I'm of the opinion that was raised on this that when you dig in all the tool and you shouldn't gloat at somebody's demise, right? So I am not by no means using this to say, yes, man, bugger on him, that will forget that no. You'll never hear those kind of things out of my mouth. So back to what I was trying to get at. So I again misinformed, thought it was only one charge and was another charge. So when I saw the breaking news and I'm like, oh my goodness. So we had a long run at it. Travis, big up yourself. I don't know if you're joining us. But we had a long run on it, and my at first Travis was saying, no, this should not be reduced to uh manslaughter, because manslaughter come with it's a lesser charge. It comes with lesser jail, well, prison time, not jail time, but prison time. So there are people who their emotions got the better of them, and they ran with this thinking that even one of my friends told me that, listen, Bridget, as far as I'm concerned, this is like some curry favor something. But you're hearing me, right? Somebody just comment that you're hearing me on TikTok, please. So I know what's going on. Where should I reach? Where? Oh, I know. And big up the people who are watching or listening on multiple platforms. Impact. Yes, man. Impact supposed to be joining us, although I don't see him yet. But yes, Impact supposed to be joining us. And let me test this out. Impact, you hearing me?
Yes, I am.
All right. All right. All right. So let me mute this over here. So that. All right. Anybody if you're seeing Graham thing. So let me ask you this, Impact. Were you of the opinion that or did you know that it was three separate charges for the same death?
No.
Okay. So yeah, so
No,
today
no,
when
no,
I
no.
was on, I was at length, and the discussion was centering around now him pleading to manslaughter is a lesser charge, so lesser jail time, all of these things. But after listening to Nationwide at 5, they brought more clarity to say no, it's three charges. One is murder, the next is manslaughter, and also the firearm issue. You aware of that? No.
No, to be quite frank, I've not been in the news. Anything that I'll able to say on this matter, I'll definitely have to piggyback on the facts that's already out there, and that I mean from the news reports.
Okay.
The last time I would have gotten any information was upon his arrest, and of course, several of his court dates were being, pushed back, and that would have been the last time actively I've been following the story.
Gotcha. All right. So thanks for that. So yeah, so like I was saying, at length today, starting about minutes to one or maybe minutes to two, I don't recall. We were on for over 5 hours. And that was the argument. A lot of people were getting into their emotions, or their emotions were getting the better of them, because one of my brethren tell me straight up, said, DP, this sound like some cover up because this man, know people and all of that. And this should not be, because based on what we're seeing. So my argument was along the line to say, well, if it's even manslaughter, it's still better than nothing, because I know the possibility. There are cases where the evidence is pointing to what the layman would say, yeah, man, him guilty. You can't tell me nothing. I him. But even the other day we saw with the Noel Maitland case, once it goes to a jury, which I'm not saying this is the case, again, I'm not discussing this case, I'm just talking broadly. If it's a jury trial, um, all the evidence can be pointing to guilt, but the jury are the ones that determine if they were convinced. And to convince somebody or convict, an accused for murder, you, you have to be you have to clear this hurdle, which is beyond reasonable doubt. So if there's any kind of gray area to kind of make it seems that person can walk, because if the jury say, I'm not convinced, there's nothing place him, and I listen
Uh,
carefully. You don't want to come in, Impact?
yes, so I mean, you'll have to go and find a jury. I'm hearing that I'm echoing.
All right, let me try to modify that. Go ahead.
Yeah. So any situation that is so how this is just me thinking. You're going to have to go under a rock that doesn't exist so as to pull that jury that would not be fully aware of what had transpired initially. Then to say that you need them to be convinced any otherwise.
Elaborate, because I don't get it.
So, in other words, what I'm saying, this is not, first of all, when the story broke for the first time, it was a national issue. I don't know if you're going to find jury that has not been fully aware of what had transpired and would have drafted, whether innately or by virtue of some other conviction, a resolution in your mind as to what transpired.
But you know that would be wrong, right?
That's it. But you cannot avoid a person who have been exposed. So again, where are you going to find persons who are not au fait with the case, at least know about the case?
So
From
that is why I'm
mainstream media.
thinking it's not a jury trial, because I heard Justice Sykes' name mentioned. And again, just to push forward and with some information, and that is what I'm trying to clear up, that the all happened today, and that is what created this big uproar on my life. All happened today was a what am I call it? It was basically an application. So the defense put forward that they would like to change one of the plea to a guilty. So there are three charges: murder, manslaughter, and the gun charge. And they want to change one of the plea because initially it was not guilty on all three. So I don't think it's a jury trial. So I have limited time. I don't want to waste time on something that is not even the case. So
Mhm.
I can play back the tape impact if you want to hear what the report is. But again, just for clarity, and I think most people that ran with the breaking story was of the opinion that this report would just change from murder to manslaughter. But that is not the case. I'm trying to use
Okay.
my platform to clarify that.
Okay. So in other words, persons who thought that okay, then initially it was a murder, and then now they're hearing manslaughter. The clarification to that is that there are three charges, and so one of the three happens to be that of manslaughter.
Correct.
Then the other two takes care of the issue with the firearm or the weapon, as
Yes.
well as another one.
Good. And for the purpose, I see the number is going up now. So let's just get it from Nationwide so we're not speculating.
Nationwide Radio and message them on WhatsApp at 876-285-5693. You can also leave your comments on Instagram at Nationwide90FM. All these and more as we take you home on air on your mobile Nationwide 90FM, RevoNews.ai, and on the Revo News app available on the Google Play and the App Store. This Monday afternoon, it's a new month, Monday, February 2, 2026.
Ingram, you promised to come back. We'll call you for Ingram.
If it's news, it's got to be Nationwide 90 FM.
And now to the details. Nationwide News understands that former MP for West St. Mary, the PMP's Julian Silvera, changed his initial not guilty plea after investigators discovered forensic evidence conclusively linking the bullet that allegedly killed his wife to a gun registered to him. The police theorized that Melissa Silvera was murdered in the couple's Stony Hill home and did not die in her sleep as initially reported. George Davis has the latest on the case that has gripped national attention.
Nationwide News understands that as per protocol, the country's Firearm Licensing Authority, FLA, keeps a bullet that is fired from the gun of each licensed firearm holder. The bullet contains unique marks which corresponded to the firearm issued to each firearm holder. Those unique indentations on the bullet are referred to as bullet striation marks or simply a ballistic fingerprint. Nationwide News understands that Julian Silvera was arrested after his wife's funeral. This after he had initially led family and friends to believe their loved one had died in his sleep. He was taken into custody after an autopsy was performed on Melissa Silvera and the bullet retrieved from her body. Our sources say the suspicions of investigators were initially aroused based on the awkward positioning of Melissa's body at the crime scene. It's understood the position of her body brought into question the explanation that she died peacefully in her sleep. It's also understood she was not shot in the vagina, as was initially widely circulated online. But nationwide sources say the bullet retrieved from Melissa's body had the same unique striation marks which 100% matched the bullet kept by the FLA, which corresponded with the licensed firearm it had issued to Julian Silvera. This piece of compelling evidence led investigators to conclude that Melissa Silvera was killed by a bullet fired from the licensed firearm issued to the man she had vowed to stand by, for richer or poorer, in sickness and in health, until death do they part. That is how, despite investigators finding that his gun barrel appeared to have been tampered with, former Member of Parliament and influential PNP politician failed to escape being charged in connection with his wife's death. George Davis for Nationwide News.
So there we have that. Any clearer impact?
Yeah, most certainly.
Okay.
DP, you can hear me?
I'm hearing you loud and clear.
Yeah, man, I was liking on this account. I'm going to switch over to my other account and try and request backup.
Yep, no problem. Yeah, so like I was saying and explaining, I was one of them that got it incorrect because I thought it was just they're now putting forward, we're pleading to a manslaughter, and that would have erased the murder. Ingram, and I'm searching for him because he came on and I think he was being disingenuous. He was being disingenuous and questioning if he was indeed more than one charges. V saying it's better. It's a bit low. It's better now? Yeah. It was more than, so it was like, first he started off to say he was totally oblivious to the whole case, him no know. And PMP have this thing that I like. So their response is to everything that finger them. Listen, we believe in transparency and accountability, and I can't say it verbatim. And after investigation, a thorough investigation, let the chips fall where they may. And basically what they're saying, shut up. Don't ask about it.
I am now wondering if again Damian Crawford went ahead of himself in that one by one they're going to jail was in direct reference to
So my YouTube viewers, somebody actually dropped it before to say, listen man, Damian Crawford is a prophet. Damian is a prophet because he has prophesied that one by one they go into jail. So Ingram, go ahead. Brother, stop laughing.
I think Mark Golden. I think it's funny. It is funny. I think Mark Golden can go down and will go down as one of the worst leaders of the PNP, or he would have spearheaded the worst cohort of the People's National Party.
Well, you cannot tell the PNP that because Mark pulled them back 14 seats.
I will not even. You are the one who said it, DP. I want a member of or supporter of the People's National Party to tell me that.
But that's facts though.
Respond.
But that's facts though.
There are many ways to.
All right, if you're joining me on TikTok and you want to come up in the comments in the box, you can send a request. I'll add you. and we can have a conversation. Still looking for Noel Ingram. He promised to come back at 9 to clarify something. So again, so Noel was saying, Mr. Ingram was saying that questioning what I put forward to say there are three charges. Very clear. Thank you, Simone. There are three charges, right? One is murder, one is manslaughter, then the gun one. And again, I said this over and over, and I got a chance to tell a PMP this to their faces that, listen, part of what is affecting the PMP currently is the fact that we have access to information at our fingertips. All of us have a smartphone or some other devices that goes to the internet. So I actually Google DP. I mean, Matthew is very other account I requested up, like, what's the name of the other account, Matthew? My clicker on my main account. What's the name of the other account? Tell me the name of the other account and I'll add it. Right. So I actually Googled and asked AI to give us an overview of if this is possible to be charged, because Ingram, and trust me, people, the PMP have this thing where misleading is like the number one go-to nowadays. So they will say something even in the form of asking a question, but it's misleading. Ingram early throwing double jeopardy. And double jeopardy means you're charged for the same crime twice, right? Which that is double jeopardy. In this case, that's not it. So when I brought that forward, he said, yes, it wouldn't be double jeopardy, but the fact that it's unalive. So I went to Google, to AI overview, and let me read what AI overview say, which actually rubbish Noel Ingram claim. And he was trying to promote his program on my show earlier today, which aside, maybe that he won't come back tonight. But we have a bigger audience tonight. Noel, you can come back and try to get some viewers for tomorrow, because this is what they do. They have the talking points, and even if you bring them facts, reality, truth, they're still going to stick to it. So I'm of the opinion that the only thing we can do is forget about them and them being misleading and present the truth. And the Prime Minister himself said, present the truth, and if people want to accept it, it's up to them. Because you can throw somebody a lifeline, and if they choose not to hang on to it, so be it. Me not jump off in a no water to try to save nobody, because some of them have no intention of being saved. So this is what AI say after I ask AI, can somebody be charged for one death for murder and manslaughter? So listen to the AI overview. Yes, a person can be charged with both murder and manslaughter for the same death, as prosecutors often file both to let a jury decide based on the evidence. Murder involves malice and intent, while manslaughter involves heat of passion, voluntary or criminal negligence, involuntary. These charges are often, alternative, allowing for conviction on a lesser offense. So, Mr. Noel Ingram, thanks for coming forward and make it sound like everybody else are idiot except you, because you actually prove the other way around. Impact, you want to coming on anything I said a while ago? Or comment?
I'm driving, so I realize that I'm chipping in and out.
Yes. All right, you want to just go and listen then? All right. Yeah, so right there and then we get it. And this is why I always tell people, make sure you check credible sources. And what was in the news today is that, listen, man, there's some, and I said it on my live earlier, there are people who, on both sides, the PMP and the JLP, given their following, they will come and say things that it's not so true. I've heard labor rights repeated that the gun was inserted into our private part, and that is where it was fired from. So that make it an heinous crime and blah 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 blah. That I've also heard that 3 warhead was removed from our body. The news say 1. You understand? So, but the big question is, and Ingram was asking same, what would be the reason for the accused now
Yes.
to be asked to
Yes.
be offering to change their plea from not guilty on all 3
Y-
no to
Yes.
ask for to plead guilty on
Pleading
the
guilty for
manslaughter.
a manslaughter. Yes.
What would be it? So I got some time to think about it, and I think it was a Sean Kingston said earlier on my TikTok that what will happen, and I think this is a technicality. So, and if somebody is of the from the office of the court, you can maybe come on and explain. I think what this do, and again, this is just DP thinking. I'm not a lawyer. Never work in the court other than reporting for news. I think by doing this, it's a strategy to remove the murder. So yes, that is saying there was a killing or unaliving for TikTok purpose. So
That's what I got.
you come now when you say, all right, I did this. So that removed, because again, as I heard I read a while ago, that murder consists of it has to be premeditated and all of them something there, right? The intent.
Yes.
There had to be malice for it to be murder. So there can be an unaliving, but not necessarily murder. You understand? So this is where the
Yes.
manslaughter coming about, and it applies to even on the road. You know, if you lose your brakes or lost control of the vehicle and you end up unaliving somebody, it's an accident. As long as it's not proven that you intentionally ran over this person, then it is manslaughter that you're charged for. So after Ingram asked the question, that is what came to my mind to say that was a big move. I'm trying to find a master stroke. Yes, I know would have come to me. That was a master stroke by KC Champagny to say, all right, here what happened. And let me again bring some context. The only reason why now they're changing it is because it is conclusive or concluded that the ballistic matches that of the data that is stored at FLA. So they were trying to play it to say, well, guess what happened? Suppose they cannot prove that the gun license, and this is some of the things, Impact, I was saying to my my audience today. I was going to, I was simplifying it to say, I would prefer the DPP accept the accept the manslaughter, because no, we wouldn't need to go to trial, because again, you can go to trial, and if you cannot place, and again for murder, again, I was ignorant, I thought it was only murder. I'm saying if you go to trial and you cannot prove intent, you cannot prove that malice, you can't prove none of that, then it's not murder. It would have to be it would have to be on what I call it, not guilty. So I was willing to accept the justice. Go ahead, Impact.
So this is what I want the prosecutor to do. Maintain your charge for murder. What I want to be available to the prosecutor or be made, what I hope that is available to the prosecutor is sufficient evidence, adequate evidence to prove that this was a murder. And then in court, you are so much of a surgeon to cut through Mr. Silvera to prove to whomsoever will pass the verdict, jury or the judge, that he indeed committed murder.
Gotcha.
I would hope that the prosecutor do not buy into that of the guilty plea to manslaughter. Maintain the plea, maintain your prosecutory prose to murder, and then I am hoping that there is adequate evidence to prove or to support, and two, that in court, when you're cross-questioning Mr. Silvera, it will be made even more vivid to either the judge or the jury that he is indeed guilty of the murder. That is what I want the outcome of this to be.
Gotcha. But you know, a lot of times what we on the outside want may not necessarily be what we get. And I was at pain saying that on the live today to say, again, just to recap, I would prefer accept the guilty, because this to me is a confession that yes, I unalive my wife. Instead of risking that and go to a trial, which again I'm saying it. Remember was it a X5 or X6 case? The unaliving of the schoolboy in a taxi. You remember that impact?
Yes.
It went to
Yes, I
trial.
remember that.
And what ended up happening in trial? They say that the witness for the prosecution was acting what's the term them did use? Was uncooperative. That is what come out.
Yes.
So the man get something for the gun, and I may not even remember how long it was and all of these things. So my thing is, we may not get what we want, but then again, it's not we write the law. And this is why you have a defense lawyer, because he's going to do what is best for his client.
Yes. So that is why I'm hoping that what is already on the table from the from a prosecutorial perspective, that you have sufficient and adequate evidence to prove that this was a murder. That's exhibit A. Exhibit B now is that in court, you, the attorney, or the same prosecutor would then be such a surgeon.
Yeah, man, Impact. I heard you the first time.
Yes.
When you said that.
Right. So, I mean, I'm not ruling out going to court.
But what I'm putting forward again, and just because I think I'm reiterating, when you go to a trial, you're opening up yourself to all aspects of the law, and then know the burden, which everybody's supposed to know this by now. The burden of proof is on the prosecutor, you know. And again, I was going to go to the news. Remember, all we're getting in the news is that the projectile, the bullets, is identical to what they have on data. You cannot convict somebody for murder that you cannot place, and more so with a weapon. If you can't prove that this person pulled the trigger, you're opening up yourself for a failed case. I don't know if I'm clear.
Yeah, you're quite clear on that, and that is why I'm banking on sufficient or adequate, if you want of a better word, adequate material by or from the prosecutor to say that even though you're pleading guilty to manslaughter here, we have this to prove that you actually commit murder.
So what would, apart from the gun and the matching whatever, what else would prove that he murdered his wife?
It's because this is not a scenario. This is not it's actual life. It is live. It is ongoing. For me to then say, and I'm not privy to that which is available to the prosecutors, then giving adequate response to an answer to a question like that would in and of itself proven futile.
All right, gotcha. Let's see if anybody else want to. We have some people in the box here. John Bisco, you want to add to the conversation? I see you blew up, but I'm not hearing anything, so you need to unmute or anything like that. John Bisco. All right, Philippines. Let's say Philippines. You want to add anything, Philippines?
But just come up, me no know why not talk.
All right, go
Me
on,
just
listen.
come
But
up
me,
and me
yeah,
come.
when I'm a mad, so go and do some work. That I mean is me bring you up. All right, guys. So if you're just joining again, and this is something why I do not like lives, because live different people join. So I was making some correction. For one, I was of the opinion that it was only one charge, and the charge was murder. So when I heard the news that they're changing, the accused is changing their plea from to not guilty. What was not in the news, and again, I was saying, people be careful where you get your news from, because I took it from CVM, and all I saw was that, let me see if I can find it, was that Silvera had changed his plea from guilty. What was missing that I learned later on was that no, unlike what I came up with my own in my own head to say, okay, with that change of, here it is, going to bring it up on my screen. Julian Silvera plead guilty to manslaughter. So I jump to say, okay, that mean this now remove the whole murder thing, and he was, offering to say, let me plead. That is what they say. No backstory to say he was charged. And again, people, mainstream media has bought into this clickbait kind of thing. So they will give you a heading to get you to click on it, or they would withhold information because they want to use it again to say either breaking news or make it seem as if, this is additional information. So I can't tell you no who to listen to, but that is what CVM published today. Joanne Silvera pleaded guilty to manslaughter. And even that, there were people on the live asking me, so when is sentencing? And I'm like, what are you talking about? Because again, if you just go on a news report like this to say, Jolan Silvera pleaded guilty, what you'd want to think, or what is natural to think for those of us who are not students of the law, is that he went to court, pleaded guilty, and now he's going to be sentenced. That is the progression of what a lay person would think. Only now to find that no, what happened was there are three charges: murder, manslaughter, and a gun charge. And he had said, or initially, he had pleaded not guilty to all three. So unless there's some technicality there, which I think that was Ingram was pushing, the fact that he's trying to say, and again, I don't want this to escape anybody, that is just the defense putting forward this to say, we are pleading guilty. We're changing our plea from not guilty of the manslaughter to guilty. That is all. The gun charge, all three charges until tomorrow, so we have to follow it up until tomorrow, which of course I'm going to go live. The sad thing is it's been in camera, so we're not allowed to report on it. We have to go off what the DPP tells us, or whatever comes out of the DPP.
But DP,
Yes.
my question is, if he has he has the murder charge and the manslaughter charge. So my question to that is, if he's charged for the manslaughter, then the murder one would immediately become invalid.
That is my impression. That's what came about out of Ingram asking the question.
Right. So if they accept the plea deal, then he's likely to then get the murder charge dropped. Plus the fact that he would also get less time because he pleaded guilty for the crime of manslaughter. That would be the way I would see it going on.
So what about the gun charge?
Yeah, that would still be added on to it depending if he's found guilty or not. But I'm just saying that it's not exactly a bad strategy of his, because if they cannot prove that he is guilty for murder, then but they will definitely be able to prove that he's guilty for manslaughter.
Right.
But since he pleaded guilty, now he will get less time for it because he himself pleaded guilty for the charge before being said to be guilty. He pleaded guilty now for it.
Correct.
So he's trying to get himself less time. He knows that he'll be going to prison, but he's trying to get himself less time, is what it looks like.
Gotcha. So and hypothetical again, if it was just between that murder and manslaughter, and he he pleaded guilty. What would be your take if you were the DPP? Would you accept the manslaughter and move forward to just sentencing, or based on what you're hearing in the news, make sure I say that you think sufficient evidence is there already to to convict him?
I think that there's enough loopholes for him to get away with the murder and to just be charged with the manslaughter. I feel like there's enough loopholes on his side, and that I believe that his attorneys are competent enough to get him just the manslaughter charge alone. So I believe that the DPP will still press for the murder charge, but at the end of the day, I don't think that will stick.
You don't think the murder would stick? Yep, 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 yep.
Also, John Bisco is sleeping, it seems. I hear him snoring.
All right. Thanks for that. So if you're just joining us, let me say good evening.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if I should
Remove him.
already done. Think you'd have jump on it already, Miss Moderator.
I was going to.
All right, so we're live on just to let you know, I'm taking live requests to come up in the box on on TikTok. I'm not on Instagram, on TikTok. I'm live on Vibes Corner Radio out of Connecticut. This is where I'm at every Monday night from 9 o'clock. And I'm live on my YouTube channel, DP Live. There's a comment here, somebody, or I think it was a question. It's not a comment, it's a question. Um, let's go up. There's more than one. So in fact, my YouTubers are doing way better than TikTokers. Like I'm trying to look for stuff to read and I'm not seeing any, but my YouTube, they have it. Um all right. So one by one, yes, somebody said that. I think the length that he want what's that he went to cover it. I think the length to go to cover it. Okay, got that. Good night, everyone on this platform. Good night to you too. Another one here says, why don't the party expel him from the party? Well, I don't even know what to say about that. Another comment here. He plead guilty for manslaughter cause him know if him got trial, a lot of names going to call in court. Okay. Somebody is saying here it's a strategy. He's pleading guilty to manslaughter because if it goes to trial, names will be called. He did plead not guilty before, okay? So you see how my listeners them bright? I like it. Plus, he has already served 2 years. Yes. So there's a thing that you have time served that will be removed or minus from whatever the sentence is. I would
But DP,
yes.
after the fact that he pled guilty to the manslaughter, he should have for real been expelled from his party. I heard that question and I was thinking about it and I was thinking, he shouldn't be, but now that he actually pled guilty to one of those charges, he should be expelled from the party because he's admitting guilt to at least one of these serious charges. And it's not like before where he was saying that he was not guilty, so you wouldn't expel him from the party because the man is holding up his innocence, but he's showing that he's not as innocent as it seems. So
But
he should really be expelled from the
so
party.
here why I never did want to go down the route because I don't know if he had maintained membership. So I know that he's not a sitting member of parliament. So to me, like that's here nor there. And that is what I said earlier. I don't want to go down the line, Matthew, to try to score political points. Because no saying that the PMP should expel him. If they expel him, how do that help us in any way, shape, nor form? Or help the family of Melissa to get justice? That that to me is just pushing
If
for a political point to tick off the box for say yes. Because at the end of the day, my thing, Matthew, is if then they can use it that way. If he's found guilty and or whatever the ending of the case and him go to prison, it is going to be a member of the PMP, a former MP that ran on the PMP ticket got to prison. V is saying here, I wouldn't accept it. If she can get a conviction for Maitland, she can do the same for Silvera. Another comment, they should They should charge for the gun tampering and preventing the court, perverting the court of justice. Okay. All right.
But
Him
Maitland
figure.
Maitland and the Silvera case is not the same. It's not very, very close. It's not very well similar like that for that logic to stand.
Well, I guess layman is going to say guilty is guilty. So that is what I think the point they're looking it from, to say, because remember, and here are the difference, which again, I'm not a lawyer. I keep on repeating it because nothing that I say here is actually grounded in law. I'm just voicing my opinion. This is an opinion show. This is what I do. I think as a layman, Noel case would be harder than Melissa's case. Reason why I say that. There were all circumstantial evidence. So stuff, and there were no body. Unlike in this case, they had the body. The accused did come forward and gave an account. Nothing to allude to unaliving. So right there, so pervert the court of justice, preventing. And then there's a charge. I don't know if somebody wants to look it up and share it for me. If you know that a crime was committed and you refuse to report it, that is a charge by itself. So we can see some trajectory. But with Maitland case, it was harder because, as Mayor says, it's circumstantial evidence. Stuff like there was a coach and them go wash it out and stuff like that. And nobody. So I think this is what this viewer is saying. They are convinced that if the DPP could land a conviction for that case, it shouldn't be different for this one. And yes, somebody is saying here the DPP does not have to accept it. And I learned today in the newscast that it's not a single thing. It has to be an agreement between the trial judge and the DPP office. So even if the DPP want to say, yes, let's go along with it, the judge have to be convinced to say, and then go through the whole, if it's right by law, to change it to a lesser charge. Plea bargain benefits can't be granted because he pleaded not guilty before. That's incorrect. He has up to the comments of trial, which that came in today. And like I said, it was a master stroke. Go ahead.
This case is bigger than the next one. And far more people involved in this. All the doctor will come say, boy, right or after she dead. He more charged jointly with Silvera. A lot of people are going to charge with him. It's a far bigger case, brother. More people are going to prison.
All right, hold on, Logan. Let me just tell you before you go any further. First, may I talk to you? I'm live on Vibes Corner Radio out of Connecticut. Please make sure anything you said then can't get sued, all right?
Okay.
Me not say nothing wrong, Me just say I don't want you to get there. So you can go ahead and share your opinion. But like I said, I don't want you to say anything like use no words where no fit for radio or call no name where, then can send one subpoena and say, there should be a recording of, yeah. But continue. I want to hear I want you to finish, Logan.
A lot of people involved in this one. This one is very big. Understand? Doctor, police, the cleaner, everybody.
Yep, and I heard about there was a fruit. I didn't know that she was in medical field. There was a fruit that ran out and gave explanation. I think I was wondering why that fruit has not been charged.
Little bit of blood.
Not easy now.
Oh, maybe. I know mango season, man. Mango season coming up.
The sad thing is that the girl lost her life, really. But tell her, man, I regret this girl lost her life. Her life is alive. No matter which side of the fence, her life is alive. Her life is very important. And then,
right, deep.
Hold on, Matthew, make him finish.
My bad.
What you going before she dead? You remember last her son in the pool?
Yes, there was a mysterious drowning.
I'm here to tell you that the kids have woken up back. Believe you me.
So was he the father of that little boy?
Yes. You understand?
Okay.
Well, so me I tell you say this far bigger than the next one, cause that somebody body vanish and them not know about it and this and that. But this one, evidence is there and a lot of covering up going on.
Yes, Logan.
So that's why
On my YouTube channel here, Valentina says Silvera has more physical evidence: murder weapon, body, cleaning up of the scene, tampering of the weapon. And I heard that, I don't know true it is, that there were even replacement of furnitures and tiles in the
refurbish,
area.
refer all the tile in the house change. Everything,
But
paint, everything, brother.
I can only say if this man is really guilty, boy, miss something else, because we saw him weeping at the funeral, at the service, the funeral service, right in the front row, weeping for his wife. So, and then based on what the account he gave to the police at the offset to say, you know.
Boy, me I tell you, me I tell you, me I tell you.
But you know,
I know the
DP, you
fact.
Yes,
have
Matthew, I
to,
did cut you off. Logan, let Matthew go ahead.
yeah, you have to keep the act up. That's why you went to the funeral and was crying like that. You have to keep the act up, the act up. But anyways, there is accessory after the fact of obstructing justice. However, we don't really have a law where you have a general legal duty to report a crime. So the ones who were, let us say, help the offender to escape, maybe hid evidence, lied to the police, or provided any type of shelter, money, or transport, are accessories after the fact of the crime and obstructed justice.
Gotcha.
So remember the question you asked me, DP, what there is possible that could prove that this is a murder.
So you say I never did want answer, now you want answer.
Because at the time I had very limited and inadequate information.
All right, go ahead with answering the question.
Someone made mention of a element in this case. The manipulation of the scene, quote unquote scene.
Mm-hmm.
That could speak to a sense of premeditated act. If this was a mere manslaughter, why then would you be so moved or inspired to the depth of having the tiles rearranged, go as far as to change furniture and stuff like that? While that can be debated to say that, look, we're trying to move away from, as fast as possible, move on with your life and with the mourning process. That can also be used by the prosecutor as a platform on which premeditation of murder was active.
I see what you're saying, because I haven't heard anything more about it, but I think it was was it September that that unaliving of the judge in Trelawney. Remember that one? Or you never hear about it?
No.
Yes, there's a judge that was the husband reported that
I remember that. I remember it.
they normally go running in the morning, but she was complaining that she's tired, whatever, and then he went, and then it was like 11 o'clock in the day. Him say me that bring her food, and she was in the bathroom locked up and whatever, and that was part of my question. Is like, all right, so yeah, she point to one butler, tell you, because this is what was reported, that the judge told the husband that she drank poison, and so if you drink poison and you tell me that, and then me say you're unresponsive, why would I try to clean up? Because he did say she went on herself. Like, to me, that is you trying to discard evidence. That's why you're trying to get at impact.
Yes.
So,
Similar to that.
but even this. So
But
again,
more- but
hold on,
more
impact.
from-
Impact.
Yeah.
Again, I'm saying proving guilty. You have to actually have evidence. So with us know it's in the public sphere that they were cleaning up. So would there be enough evidence gathered after the cleanup to get that conviction for murder.
And if you had listened to me initially, I said I would that the prosecutor or the body of prosecutors would have adequate.
Yeah, man, I heard that every time when
material
you say it. I heard that every time when you say it.
So if proof that the rearranging of the tile, rearranging of the room can so support that of premeditated murder, and that is what I would have wanted the trajectory of the case to have taken.
Gotcha.
And I'm happy that the person mentioned that because I totally forget about those elements surrounding the case.
Gotcha. Philippines, you still don't want
Why this man is a
Philippines.
very good actor.
Where's the Logan?
Yeah.
This guy is a very good
Yes.
actor.
Oh, I was saying if you wanted to add to the comment
Yes.
there, you still. Who is Miranda Brown? You know Miranda Brown?
Pardon?
You know Miranda Brown?
No.
Okay.
No.
TikTok judge. I hear you. I'm seeing if anybody hear that.
You can add her and see.
Where is no sir, me dep on radio. I only had people I really know unless them say them want to come up. So like I'll judge me
Okay.
a judge because I know judge or know of judge. Well Ingram, so Ingram deceive us, guys. Didn't he agree to come back at 9 o'clock?
Yes, he did.
And he had a question for him.
Yes.
Lie and deflect is their strategy.
So again, let's go back as we have more viewers here. Let's go back to what was breaking news today at some point. George Davis for Nationwide News.
Hear me, I say.
Yes.
Something not add up. Part on our body, the shot enter with them pussy.
You mean at the point of the first initial, that's what you mean, right?
Yeah.
Well, I guess those somebody said no sound. You guys heard the clip a while ago?
Yeah, I heard it.
So I don't know why YouTube saying that they didn't get any sound. I guess
No,
stuff like that would come up in court in the trial.
Listening to the clip again, I am even the more maintaining my position. And this is something new that I gleaned from just listening to the clip versus what was initially stated by the accused. He said, or the accused stated, that the deceased may have passed away in her sleep. That was initially stated. Investigators investigated and found that a bullet from the accused licensed firearm happens to be the reason or the cause for her death. So again, that is another arsenal in the purview of the prosecutors to pursue not manslaughter, but more so murder. And I'm hammering that because I do believe and I'm convinced that that is what had transpired. And because they are, in quote unquote, beautiful with the law, they might want to sidestep this. But I do hope that you full surgeons of the law on the side of the prosecutor who will find him out and bring him to books. Just compare what he had stated initially, led family members to believe that she had passed away in her sleep, to later now find out that the thing that really caused her death happened to be a bullet from his licensed firearm. And then, no longer you maintaining not guilty of murder, you are now pleading guilty to manslaughter. Son, you got to go.
One by one, they're going to prison.
You remember them? You remember what them say? I them say so, you know. I remember the other term. The blood and fire thing what them come with. Long time, remember delete enough come up, but we don't hear about.
All right, me drop some of the comments here from YouTube. Simone is saying, but that sounds like it was premeditated. What else here I can read? Somebody was mentioning that the Trelawney judge case. I'm wondering what came out of it. Yes, that's what I mentioned earlier. I feel like I should do a TikTok show, and I need a producer. I want to do a not a TikTok, a YouTube channel where I dig up some case that shock the public, and then after a while, you hear no more about them. If it's even to say that was the latest, you know what I mean? I said, but that was a case, and it reminded me when I think it was Logan. Oh, yes, Logan?
You hear me say?
No, repeat.
I come look for one of them be a sleepy and I come look for one of them be a sleepy and note.
You know, if you do that technology there about Bridging, you can message me on TikTok. You know that, right?
You know, say me kind of not trust certain thing.
Okay, I get you. I understand.
Listen, man. Listen, man. Don't worry yourself.
All right, boss.
Yeah.
So tomorrow they go back to court. Thanks, Logan. Tomorrow they're going back to court, and I think that's when we will hear. So, guys, I want you to listen out. Watch my channel for breaking news. I want you to listen out because as soon as the prosecutor shared the information, which again, All we're looking forward to tomorrow is if the prosecution, which is the DPP, the office of the DPP, and the judge will accept the plea. And TikTok judge, come up in the box, man, because I have a question for you. What I'm asking is just in case somebody join and have the answer to this. There's a Noel Ingram. When I was on earlier, he was questioning about the plea and the murder and thing. In fact, he was saying that he have never heard, which Matthew wasn't having it. He has never heard of a case where for the same debt, people or persons or people, sorry, was charged for murder and manslaughter. But that is a thing in law. There's nothing untoward there. It happens. Are you going to the trial? No. So it is in camera. What that meant is, or what that means, sorry, is that it's privately. So nobody, if you're not directly attached to the case, you cannot be in court. So you have to be either on the prosecution side or the defense. So we're getting news now, to the person that asked on thing, lifestyle politics. We're getting news is basically the DPP office, whatever they shares with us as media people. I say us. Years ago is what they share. That's how that's how the news come about. But once I hear it, I'm going to share it. I'll put that on my shirt. Once I hear it, I'm going to share it. So look out for that breaking news, because part of me feel like it's not going to be accepted. And I think Marley would want to hear that, because I could hear it in Marley voice today when most of us, if not all of us, were convinced that this it was just going to be okay, offer not guilty, and then that's what it is. Marley was at pain to say no. Him think say if that's the case, some cover up. Ingram, I'm disappointed, but I'm not shocked or surprised, because you realize that you couldn't manipulate me on my own live. Again, something that I keep on putting it out. I want you guys to know these signs when you see them. I'm promising you right now, before I come off, if a PMP come up, and the first thing they're going to come and do is pretend like they know nothing about it. The next thing they're going to do is say, well, I believe in the rule of law and blah, 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 whatever, and a criminal is a criminal, and whosoever is guilty, let the chip fall where they may. Right? And then they're going to start ask questions, and don't all of the questions make sense to them, sometimes even remote. One like Ingram was at nauseum saying, and even though Matthew mentioned it, he was at nauseum to say, I've never heard of a case where somebody is charged for both murder and a thing. And I was going to bring up even the George Floyd case, where Derek Chauvin, or however his name is pronounced, it wasn't just murder they were charged for. In fact, the other cops that were on the scene, they were charged for manslaughter, and he alone that was kneeling on George Floyd's neck was charged for murder. So it is a normal thing where people actually, well, not the prosecutor put forward more than one charge. So just to comfort everybody, so you guys can sleep tonight, it's not just that where it was just murder, and and then now they are offering to plead guilty to manslaughter. No. And lifestyle politics is saying, I hope it is not accepted. I hope it is, and I think that is all of Jamaica. But the sad part is, say this is not accepted and it move forward to a trial and he gets off. The same people them where I say, no, the DPP should not accept it. If he walks, you're going to be the same one saying the DPP dash for the case or dash for the conviction. Traffic point is, and I agree with him, a conviction is a conviction, regardless of how it comes. Whether it played out in the court, how much in months of trial, or if it's met an agreement. But something else that came up, I think, and Knox was putting this forward today on a live to say, no, what we heard today, this is not just a today thing. And this is something that a lot of people may not want to hear. But in the law, prosecutor and defense work together. Sound ironic, but yes. They work together. So this is what I got from what Knox says. This is not just a spur of the moment. Listen, no, there have been communications and discussion surrounding this. So let's see if they will accept or deny tomorrow. And like I say, watch my channel. I'll be breaking it. You guys on TikTok, you want to say anything final before I go?
Yeah. When me I say this no. And I want charging people. But I'm more than one charge.
Correct. That is the point. So even if that alone is the takeaway, that is my purpose tonight. So he was charged for murder, manslaughter, and there's a gun charge. And initially, is which one prior to today, appearance because he went to the gun court today. He made an appearance in the gun court today. Complete need example need for set. That's what Blazer is saying. So prior to today, he had gone to court and plead not guilty to all 3 charges. So this is why it's a big news today, because the defense team decided that we're going to plead guilty to manslaughter, which is the lesser charge. And I am saying, and I wish TikTok judge had come up so I could ask it as a question, or anybody else that I could ask. But I'm of the opinion now, and this is just me, putting forward my opinion. I'm not a lawyer. If the DPP and the judge accept the manslaughter charge, that automatically get rid of the murder charge, because
Yes,
you
it
cannot
does.
be found. Well, I shouldn't say that. Let me reserve that.
No. It does, because you cannot be found guilty of murder if you're already guilty of manslaughter, because it's a lesser charge of the murder.
Oh, you know, sir, that me
So-
daga say.
May I listen to your DP? May I listen?
Matter read my mind.
Keep my
Yes.
change up as you say.
That's exactly what I was,
DP.
Gemini. That's exactly what I was going to say, that you cannot be found guilty on both manslaughter, and it's either or.
No, and also DP, I would say that you should say that the prosecution and defense correspond with each other. Don't say that they work together. They correspond with each other and communicate in certain regards.
So where's the word
Yes,
sound
they
like
work
collusion?
together. Yeah,
Okay.
just use the word correspond.
So all right, thank you, Matthew. Matthew is saying him don't like thing they sound. So they do correspond prior to today or during the case. Even if it's appeal, all of them something that they do, the prosecutor and the defense do those correspond. So for us who are not in law and thing in the court, when we hear them something I know, and the media is playing a role, because like I say, all I ran with, which I think CVM, let me call them out, they're irresponsible, because CVM, all they posted today was Silvera pleaded guilty to manslaughter. So that created this buzz and this discomfort with people, because like I say, there was somebody on the live asked me today, when is sentencing? Because plead guilty, you think the next stage is sentencing. But again, just to reiterate, they're going to go back to court tomorrow, and that's when we will find out if the prosecutors decided to accept the guilty on manslaughter, which again I was just
But
sharing.
how long has Mr. Silvera been in prison?
2 years. Well, going 2 years this year from
Because
2024.
the maximum time for manslaughter is, I believe, 20 or 25. No, 20 years. 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
So that would mean that he would likely get 14, because the fact that he pleaded guilty, he might shave off 5 years off of that 20-year maximum sentence.
Mm-hmm.
So he might, in fact, just end up getting 14 or 13 years, plus the gun
Time
charge.
served. Oh well, yeah, and it can run concurrent. So, all of that. But like I say, nobody needs to. And I wish I've gotten this information today, which maybe the live wouldn't have been as hot as it was, because it was really steamy. But I was calling out CVM to say no. I think they did a terrible job, because they made us believe that, and then them are gonna say, well, all I did was reported what it is, which is true. Which again, this forms a part of propaganda, because if you're withholding vital information that will give people the correct news, then you're a propaganda machine. So CVM, I'm calling you a propagandist because all you reported today, all you published was Silvera pleaded guilty to manslaughter. Yeah, so that's that. All right, so one more time. Anybody want to say anything finally on TikTok?
Yes.
Let me just say,
I think
go ahead, Logan.
there will be more charge add to this man. I strongly believe so.
More charge for him or other people will be charged?
Him.
No, man, I don't think so. Because remember, Logan, let's cause we are intelligent people. The trial is supposed to start this week, So they can't start a trial and then add other charges to him. You understand?
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying, Logan?
But I think I get it.
Yeah.
But I think they should change that law.
I hear you.
The court.
No, but what me I said, this is why you have case management and all of them something, and you have pre-trial and all of that, So anything you're putting forward, and let me use Matthew words, anything that the prosecutor have that they're going to present in court during the trial, they have to communicate that to the defense. I feel like me forgot last school,
You know why I mean say that?
Tell me.
Remember him did play not,
Remember what?
Him did play not guilty. I know him play guilty.
So what should be the added charge?
Pervert the court, man.
But this is what I'm saying. You can't, because again, and thanks for asking, because me know sometimes one question is not just for you, but the benefit of the listeners. So it's everybody's right. Even if me witness you unalive a man right now, even if you tell me, say, DP, that no, me want to tell him, me do want to tell us I'm me do XYZ, right? You're still innocent until proven guilty. And you have the right to plead not guilty. So you can't say somebody plead not guilty and they're perverting the court of justice. Get that again?
Well, yeah, you have a point. I understand.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just say before DP end off, I feel that it is very important for us as Jamaicans to just pray and hope that justice is served, however direction it goes into, and that we just continue to respect the judiciary and the court of law, and that let us ease off the pressure of the DPP in the sense that we must realize that the office is simply doing its job and they know what's best. So don't go ahead and criticize them. If let us just say we don't get what we consider to be a favorable result.
Gotcha. Philip, Pian, anything you want to add before we close?
I want to drop asleep.
I guess that I know. All right, thank you very much, Logan. Big up yourself. Make sure you're following me, all right? And watching on why this is the same number, 76 on TikTok and 76 on YouTube. This is a first. All right, so until next week, I'll be here if it's the will of the Father to do it all over again. And again, like I said, follow my channel because I'll be breaking that news as soon as I get it tomorrow. Blazer was saying that the reason why the news media do that is as clickbait. And Simone say, this is Jamaica to is that rotted? Anything is possible. Well, law is law. I keep on saying this, that law is not a science, it's an art. So is the better lawyer win? You understand? Are the better lawyer, whatever they put forward, big up yourself thing. So 2 ways. So those of you on YouTube, if you do TikTok, go and follow me. Just look for DP. And those of you on TikTok, I'm trying to boost my subscription to 2,000. I'm at 1,900 and something. So maybe I just 8 more me need. I will, as much as I can, I will take. So please go over to YouTube and search for DP Live, and you will see my channel and click there. All of my shows are recorded every Monday night, so you can always go back and watch it from the top if you want our previous episodes. So that's it for tonight. Again, my name is Damian Phillips. This is why I can't come and just chat foolishness and sound dunce, because everybody know me. My face is out there. I am out there. So it is what it is. You can follow me on all my socials. So until then, If you can't be good, please be careful.
DP stands for Damian Phillips. All who never knew get with it. So if you see a girl's phone and it's my name DP, don't feel no way, or just the habit. Politics, politics, it doesn't matter, me I go talk. Bringing light to the lost so you will get it. DP is my name, please don't spoil it. Big up Portland, St. Thomas, Jamaica and America. Come listen my show. On the corner me I bring, come chat. Voice your concerns. As I share everything, just know it's a general knowledge. Views expressed, you know the rest. Come chat with DP. Call me Damian Phillips. Yeah. So if you see your girl's phone and it's my name DP, don't feel no way, or just the habit. Politics, politics, it doesn't matter, me I go talk. Bringing light to the lost so you will get it. DP is my name, please don't spoil it. Big up Portland, St. Thomas, Jamaica and America. Come listen my show. On the corner me I bring, come chat. Voice your concerns. As I share everything, just know it's a general knowledge. Yeah, views expressed, you know the rest. Come chat with DP. Call me Damian Phillips. Yeah. Come listen my show. On the corner me I bring, come chat. Voice your concerns. As I share everything, just know it's a general knowledge. VP is my name, please don't spoil it. Big up Portland, St. Thomas, Jamaica and America. Come listen my show. On the corner me I bring, come chat. Voice your concerns. As I share everything, just know it's a general knowledge. Just know it's a general knowledge. Views expressed, you know the rest. Come chat with DP. Call me Damian Phillips. Whoa, ooh yeah, Phillips. Call me Damian Phillips. Yeah. Yeah, DP stands for Damian Phillips. All who never knew get with it. So if you see your girl's phone and it's my name DP, don't feel no way.